boss of the Nigerian Shippers Council has come on board and has hit the ground running, with a promise to consolidate on the milestones recorded by his predecessor. Welcome to The Shipper. It's the most authoritative public enlightenment program on maritime issues on television and an initiative of the Nigerian Shippers Council, brought to you on this station at this time. My name is Rekia Zikru Yagboyaju. Stay with us.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba,
Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting now for the port of Nanir.
You're watching The Shipper, and thanks for joining us. He has since reported at his duty post and was hosted to a warm welcome by management and staff of the Nigerian Shippers Council. The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, EMMANUEL, JIME, has solicited the support of staff and other relevant stakeholders in the maritime industry. Adeshina Abiodun covered the CEO's first official engagement with staff. The report is presented by Lucy Ulugbe.
I believe that what I see in front of me, because of the little work that I've taken my time to do since my appointment, I am convinced that here before me is a team of professional, proficient members of the management team of NSC.
That was the new Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council. This meeting with management of the council was the first assignment by the new Chief Executive Officer of the nation's port economic regulator.
I had come to recognize the fact that a chief executive is only as successful to the extent of the amount of cooperation and support, and particularly the proficiency of the management team that you work with. When I had the chance to speak to one or two or a couple of you before coming here, the first image and the first impression I got was that I was going to meet a team that is standing on its feet, a team that is very knowledgeable about the industry in which we function. And so this organization with you around supporting whoever is going to work here is pretty much an autopilot. So can I first ask all of you, please, to consider yourselves as members of a collegiate team that's running this agency. In other words, every one of you seated here is a chief executive in your own right.
It provided the NSC boss an opportunity to gain insight into the operations and mandates of the agency.
A protectionist platform for the interest of the shippers, the importers and exporters, as it concerns matters that affect the shipment of imports and exports to and from Nigeria. And that is, the matters are freight rates, terms of shipment class, the quality of vessels that are involved in this shipment, port charges and facilities, availability, adequacy, accessibility, and affordability of transport services, not leaving out the problems of the shipping industry in Nigeria. Now, we have to do a little bit of historical background. The period before the establishment of Shippers Council was such that You had the deteriorating quality of shipping services and also unmitigated increases in ocean freight rates by the owners of the ships. And this made it uncompetitive for the Nigerian importers and exporters, not only in Nigeria and all over the whole world. The diagram you are about to see will depict it better. This diagram depicts the imbalance that we have here. We have the service providers, too weighty, too big, and then you have the shippers and the cargo owners floating there, hanging for survival. This is not only translated as it concerns individuals. The next slide will show that it also translated into nations. You have developed nations who actually belong to the owners of the ships. Multinational service providers, weighty, developing nations, service users, floating.
I'm ready to give credit to whom credit is due. I believe that Bello was a successful executive secretary of this agency, my humble opinion. And I think that he has left for me what I consider to be very, very big shoes indeed. But like I said in Abuja, I'll say it here again. My determination is that not only will I step into Bello's shoes, but I'm determined to make sure that I exceed whatever achievements Bello recorded as the chief executive. I've met him, we've spoken in private. I can speak about him in public. He's offered me his hand of friendship. He's offered me his cooperation. So as far as I'm concerned, Bello is still very much a member of this family. And I'm going to be working closely with him because I know there are a number of very, very beautiful projects Bello started for this agency. He hasn't concluded. We will conclude them. I come here with a little background, which I'm sure some of you would already have known. I was in the legislature for a couple of years. So I think that that will benefit this agency some ways. Because now it will be a lot easier, I would like to hope, for us to have a relationship with the legislative arm of government.
Determined to carry everyone along, the Executive Secretary also met with members of staff of the Council where he unveiled his strategies to achieving efficiency, purposeful and inclusive leadership.
I want us to create an environment which I believe you already have. I'm only just coming, hopefully, to add to what you already have, of a working environment that makes us comfortable, a working environment that makes us committed. I, as Executive Secretary, can do nothing, literally nothing, unless and until I have the total commitment and the support of all of you members of staff. You can make me successful, you can make me fail. And I believe deep down in my bones that none of you will wish to see me as a failure. My friends, I know I come into an office that is very well organized. I see it, I feel it, I can touch it. I just walked into Shippers Council. I got a briefing this morning by a gentleman that I've decided to christen him and give him a new name of Professor. Because when he spoke, I could just see the whole of the Shippers Council right in my front. And he took less than 2 hours to talk to me. And believe it or not, in 2 hours, I'm sure that I'm able to talk about the Shippers Council right now as if I've studied this agency 4 years in my university education. So that can only be possible because I have ladies and gentlemen who have sufficient enough institutional knowledge of this agency. That's why I don't feel like a stranger. I feel I'm already at home. I may have come from the outside, but right now I feel like an insider.
He told the gathering that everyone has something to offer and will be given the opportunity to contribute to the growth of the organization. He therefore urged all to rise to the challenge of sustaining and even surpassing the laudable achievements of the past leadership of the NSC. EMMANUEL JIME wants staff to be committed to excellence on the job. He explains that he places greater premium of staff welfare and will do everything to ensure a conducive work environment. According to him, Council will always work with other government agencies and stakeholders to enhance port operations in the country.
New officers to pilot the affairs of the Nigerian Shippers Association of Nigeria for the next couple of years emerge.
Just as each state has a Shippers Association, the National Shippers Association of Nigeria is a non-government organization at the national level aimed at protecting the interests of members. It's a common platform through which shippers in the country advocate policies that will promote the survival of their businesses. Having won the just concluded election, Dr. Akugu now has the responsibility of steering the affairs of the association for the next 2 years. According to the new president of the association, members will be adequately sensitized on their rights and be acquainted with critical policies of government in the sector to make informed decisions on export and import procedures.
I'm not in any way afraid of the responsibility ahead of me. I have been in the business for such a long time that I'm totally grasp what the issues are. So I think it's a case of getting the right candidate for the right job. So I think my members chose right. They know what I can do, and I'm not going to disappoint anyone.
Top on the priority list of the association, he explained, is the digitization of port processes to reduce human contact to stem the tide of corruption. Other members of the association pledged their commitment to excellent service.
Today is one of our great days for successfully conducting election by the council, inauguration of the President General, Vice President General, and other elected positions. So we are happy today, and in fact, it's one of our best days today.
You have a formidable association at the national level. You come with a big voice, and that big voice has been lacking for a long time. So therefore, today is a very, very glorious and a very important day for the association as far as shipping in Nigeria is concerned.
My plans is to galvanize enough members for this association. When I mean members that are true players in the international trade.
I'm happy to be here for the inauguration of the National Shippers Association, which I believe would really help the international trade ecosystem.
The association, among others, promotes equity and negotiate freight charges on behalf of members within and outside the country, through the support of relevant regulatory agencies and organizations in the maritime industry.
It was a process because we have to start, number one, by drafting a constitution. There was a constitution that was drafted. That constitution was drafted by the president of the State Shippers Association, which they sent to the Nigerian Shippers Council. We also looked at it, and we sat down together with them and harmonized it in line with the existing national trade associations.
It will be easier for Shippers Council, instead of dealing with each or individual associations, nationwide, to now deal directly with the National Shippers Association.
Other elected officers include Jamiu Mohammed as Vice President General, Ijoma Ezeoso, General Secretary, Chief Ayoade Kunle, Treasurer, Muazu Yakubu, Welfare Officer, Ugochukwu Chizoba, Public Relations Officer.
new beginnings. They signal hope, and that is the oxygen that keeps us all going. Over now to Oluwasegun Aloko for tidbits.
Welcome to the tidbit segment of the foremost maritime program on television, The Shaper. I am Oluwasegun Aloko. Recently in Katsina, the director, Nigerian Shippers Council Northwest Zone, Ajia Karimatu Otman, and chairperson of the task force committee for the completion of the Funtua Inland Dry Port, led the committee to inspect the ongoing construction of the stacking area within the port. It was a pleasing sight as considerable progress has been made between the last visit and this one, which was the 10th meeting of the committee. All efforts are on to ensure the timely completion of the project. The committee commended the efforts of the concessionaire, noting that the project is at about 60% completion. The Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority, NEPZA, says it is ready to open multiple partnerships with the Nigerian Shippers Council to significantly scale up the federal government's non-oil sector deliverables for businesses. Professor Adesoji Adesugba, NEPZA's managing director, made the remark in a congratulatory message to Mr. EMMANUEL JIME, the newly appointed Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council. He noted that there are unique opportunities to collaborate and work together for the development of value chains in the economy and to bridge the economic infrastructural deficits facing the nation. Next is shipping news across the globe. The Kobe Express, a container ship owned by Hapag-Lloyd and managed by Anglo-Eastern, completed what has been described as the world's first digitally controlled arrival at the port. The 4,612 TEU ship docked safely and on time at Taja Med, Morocco, using the Vasila Naviport system, a digital platform designed to facilitate the exchange of real-time data between ships and their destination port to allow for accurate arrival times. The optimized arrival time saves fuel and costly waiting time at anchor. This is no doubt a momentous accomplishment. New S-Class wind turbine installation vessels at COSCO Shipping Heavy Industry. Upon completion of the two new builds, Kadila will have the largest fleet in the industry in terms of loading capacity. The first S-Class vessel will be ready by third quarter 2024, and the second vessel will be delivered in the first quarter 2025. Construction of both vessels will start immediately at COSCO Chindon Yard. The first S-Class vessel has already been contracted for one of the largest offshore wind farms in the world, the 1.4 gigawatt Sofia offshore wind power park in the North Sea, owned by the German offshore energy company RWE. The most recent data from research by the Global Maritime Forum points to further worsening of the crew change crisis brought on by the restrictions implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic. The crew change crisis, which has been ongoing for more than a year and a half, has the highest cost falling on seafarers and their families' well-being. It is important that all stakeholders work together to deliver on the shared responsibility of protecting seafarers and making sure that they can return home safely, says Caspar Sigwa, Head of Research, Global Maritime Forum. Stephen Cotton, General Secretary, International Transport Workers Federation, also remarked that a concrete action from the government that allows crew changes to be carried out in a safe manner is needed. Straight away to our complaint register for the week. A total number of 6 complaints were received. 1 has been resolved, and 5 are ongoing investigations. Some of these complaints include excessive and arbitrary customs duty, unjustifiable demurrage charge, arbitrary charges, container deposit refund, and service delays. If you find yourself in deep water as you go about conducting your shipping business, rather than attempting to boil the ocean, turn to the Shippers Council, who will without delay come to your rescue. Here is a letter from Streetline Global Logistics Limited appreciating the council for resolving its complaint lodged against Tinkan Island Container Terminal Limited. We humbly appreciate your resolution of our petition against Tinkan Island Container Terminal Limited, TICT, in respect of our consignee, Ayad Global System Limited. We appreciate Alhaji Bashir Ambil for his effort in resolving the issue between us and TICT, and we appreciate the Shippers Council for their good work. May Almighty Allah continue to increase your wisdom for the great works you are doing. Thanks for your cooperation. Here is a reminder to all service providers, such as terminal operators, barge operators, shipping companies, freight forwarders, and clearing agents, amongst others, to register with the Council. Failure to do so will attract penalties. Registration can be done via the website www.shipperstradedata.gov.ng. And that's it on Tidbits for this week.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
And that's it on The Shipper for this week. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Do remember to register as a regulated service provider at www.shipperstradedata.gov.ng. Have a swimmingly great week ahead, and goodbye.